All right, welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the RRAR interview series. Joining me today is Heather Thompson from RRAR, and she is also in charge of the Realtor Giving Network. So, Heather, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, it's a joy and a privilege. Thank you for having me.
So, I want to get right into it, and kind of a direct question here to start, but I think one that is super important. What is the mission of the Realtor Giving Network for those who don't know what it is, who have heard it but haven't decided to dive deeper into it? But so, what is the mission of RGN?
Sure. So we're all about harnessing the collective giving power of realtors and our industry partners to help be part of the solution to end homelessness, to improve housing solutions, to help our neighbors transition from homelessness to stable housing and having a vehicle to do that. So I hope realtors will consider the network as their giving outlet. So we're going to make it easy, we're going to make it impactful, and when people give, they want to know where their money's going. And I can assure folks that that money's going straight back out to local housing communities to support them in their mission work.
Yeah, that's great. So, just a quick follow-up question to that, I guess, a little bit of history. How long have you been doing RGN for, and how have you seen it, I guess, grow since you took it over to now?
Yes. Well, I mean, everybody wants their own accolades. So I could go on and on. No, but seriously, I've been here for about 7 years, and the transformation that I've seen is that more realtors are finding out about the Realtor Giving Network, and they're also having impactful experiences with the network. So we offer lots of opportunities for people to volunteer, furnish apartments, deliver air conditioning units. So once realtors have a touch point of something, they're a lot more apt to stay invested in it. We've had a huge increase in our social media and our marketing, and the caliber of our board is just amazing. I've been doing nonprofit work for 25, 30 years, and in my other jobs, we'd have board meetings and maybe half the people would show up. I mean, it is like the mandatory attendance for these realtors. They are on it, they are coming. And they're invested in it, and they want to engage their friends in getting involved. So I do think it's been rewarding for a good new group of leaders as far as board of directors.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I think something that I'm interested in hearing from you is I deal with this with RPAC a lot. So you just covered a lot of what RGN is, but for those people who are supporters of RGN or might want to tell other realtors about RGN to get involved, what's that 30-second elevator pitch? What are the most important things to hit home if you only have someone's ear for a couple of seconds?
Sure, I'm from Nash County, so I do talk fast. But the biggest component of this is that the Realtor Giving Network is an outlet for doing good. And it's a place that all realtors, regardless of what brokerage they're with, regardless of whether they're independent, they're going to engage in the network, and they're going to be known as social good ambassadors out in the community. Biggest piece of this too is that we are investing in local housing nonprofits. We're giving them general operating money, which is like liquid gold. We're telling them, we believe in what you do. We want to help you pay the light bill. So the more realtors give, the bigger those checks can be. We can give $25,000 checks, $50,000 checks. And more than anything, people in the community know that realtors are invested in their clients and helping them get housing. And they're also invested in our unhoused neighbors and helping them to one day be clients and be a homeowner. But it just, the journey to get there takes a long time.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think it's important, obviously on this podcast or this interview series, we do a lot of talking about this area specifically, but also um, getting everyone the ability to live in a home if they want to, or at least some type of roof over their head. So, with homelessness becoming a more prominent issue, I think throughout the country, really, we see big cities throughout the country struggling to deal with this issue. We see cities all over the country dealing with the housing crisis in general. So, can you share what homelessness looks like in our community? Because I think, frankly, you go to work, you come home, you might not be witnessing homelessness on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's important for our listeners to hear what it looks like because you've been, I guess it's unfortunate, but also fortunately you've had the opportunity to see it up close and you can be an advocate for these people.
Yeah, so I think the scope of homelessness is massive in scale. So this morning, let's say over 1,500 Wake County residents, they woke up homeless, or really it's called unhoused. And that could be they're living in their car, that could be they're couch surfing, that could be they're living on the street in a homeless shelter. Also, too, just the problem with affordable housing. So there was a study just released recently by the North Carolina Housing Coalition, and it said that in Wake County, someone would have to work full time and make $27.14 an hour to afford a fair market 2-bedroom apartment. I mean, that is the ability to do that. It's crazy that that's what it takes these days. And I was blown away by this, that 10 to 14% of college students at NC State University at some point in time during their college experience are homeless. You
Wow.
don't think about that. You think, oh, there's, a young adult going to college and they're going to live in a dorm. That's not always the case. So what the network really is all about is supporting those nonprofits like CASA. So CASA's whole philosophy is the solution to end homelessness is housing. So
Mhm.
we're helping them. We're investing in them. They're doing CASA at Kings Ridge, which is right near Wake Med. It's going to be a wraparound services housing for 100 chronically homeless people. That's getting 100 people off the streets, giving them access to health care, dental care, job counseling, all the things that we have in order to make our next best move. Until you have a house, there is really no such thing as, oh, well, they can go get a job. Well, if they don't have a license because they haven't had stable housing for a while, it's really hard to get to that space. So when we have wraparound services that we're supporting people, that is how they make their next best move. But it just takes some time to go through that work.
I think you touched on it a little bit there, but I would like to expand on it a little bit if we could. I mean, I don't think there's a perfect answer to it or even an easy answer to it, but um, how do we address the issue? You did just mention more housing. That sounds like a great idea, but are there other things we can do to address this issue and come up with a solution for all? And maybe even if there isn't something that we can discuss here today, what would you like to see happen in the near future for people?
Right. A lot of it is it falls to the nonprofit sector. I mean, you've got business, you've got government, and they're looking at nonprofits with limited resources and limited staff to solve a social problem that's massive in scale. And when that happens is people need to invest. If anybody wants to do the best they can for their community, it's to invest in nonprofits that are doing the hard work, and they need the resources to help them run at an optimal level and serve more people. The bottom line is just access to affordable housing. And whether that is more people who have rental property, being willing to run that through a nonprofit, let people live there. It's just really hard to help this sector when, as we all know, they can go through all the proper channels. They can go through all, getting food stamps, going everything they need to do. But if there's not shelter, that's a basic human necessity
Yeah.
to be, healthy and productive individuals in our society. So there a lot of work has to be done to create spaces where people can live, and that's near a bus stop, near places that they can go and have jobs and have access to the services in the county that they need.
Yeah, I think I appreciate you sharing all that. And I think that it's important, my next question is going to be focused around stories or an individual that you've come in contact with whose life has been transformed with the help of RGN. Because I think, like we mentioned earlier, I think people just have a vision of what homelessness is. And I think that there's so many different stories that need to be told, and all different people, walks of life are being affected by this issue. And to me, it seems like it's not just the people who are experiencing homelessness that are affected. It could be their friends, it could be their family, it could be the people that care about them. All these folks are maybe indirectly or directly impacted by homelessness. So can you share a story about someone whose life has been transformed in a positive way through RGN?
Yes, I love story. I'm a big storyteller. I love them. Nothing makes me happier than to think of the people we've helped. And starting probably 7 years ago, we began a program where we furnished apartments for families, and they were transitioning from the homeless shelter. They found housing, but unlike us, there's no pod, there's no furniture coming with them. So this year we will furnish our 100th apartment. And part of that is the stories behind that and the people we've helped. And one story I can think of is Trishia and Chloe. So they've been living in their car, and Casa found out about them, got Trishia in all the counseling classes to enable her to get that first apartment. Well, we got there, and there were cardboard boxes that were being used as tables, and there were sleeping bags on the floor. Now, that is not how anybody should live in order to get a good night's sleep and start the next day on a good foot. So we go in and we furnish that apartment top to bottom. I'm talking artwork on the wall, sheets and towels, you name it, all the comforts of home that we have. And they had gone to school and work. And then when they came home, we happened to be there. We were just wrapping up. So she came in and I was like, and just the look on her face was just, I mean, it was like she had won the sweepstakes, which in a way she had.
Yeah.
And so we had set the table and placemats and silverware. And she said, "Oh, I can't sit there." And I said, "Oh my gosh, is it not, do you not like it, or you don't think it's safe?" And she's like, "What's this? I don't even know what to do. It's set, it's decorated." And I was like, "What do you mean decorated?" She says, "Well, I've never sat at a table that had all this stuff on it." And I'm just thinking to myself, how is that even possible that everything that is mainstream to a lot of people is a luxury? So I said, "Well, you know what? We're going to change that narrative. We're going to sit down and have a meal together." So
That's
we
all.
sat there and I made her use that cloth napkin and that glass. And it was just like she was at a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah.
And to know that realtors were part of that journey for her and really giving hope and dignity. At the end of the day, that's all we all want, and to feel heard and seen and valued. So realtors have been such a part of that. And it's just a real gift to be able to help realtors be community ambassadors.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to hear stories like that. And I think it's good for our membership to hear that as well, to know that they're making an impact in such a profound way that they might not think about. But it's those stories that I think make RGN so great, and why it's a great cause to contribute to. How are realtors helping neighbors in need? I mean, we just touched on that a little bit. And what do you think is an idea to help the housing crisis in our area through our membership? Like, what can we do specifically to help this housing crisis?
Right. So on a scale of what realtors have done, this can be something as simple as cooling wake. So we find out about senior citizens whose air condition is broken. They don't have the resources to fix it. They're identified. We have window AC units here at the association, and realtors volunteer to come and pick them up and deliver them. They don't worry, you don't have to install. But literally, I don't even think we went less than more than 24 hours last year when we got a request for someone in need. Realtors are in the rapid response business for their clients, and they sure do exercise that same philosophy when it comes to helping neighbors. I'm just always amazed by the willingness to really get involved and help neighbors. Other things we've done are the community grant program. We've given away hundreds of thousands of dollars to nonprofits, again, for that general operating money. And we see the impact that it makes. Today, I just got back from the Women's Center. It's the only center in Wake County that helps chronically homeless single women throughout the day. They can go there and have lunch, breakfast, shower, wash their clothes, charge their phone. But guess what? At 3:30, they have to leave. And a lot of them go on a bus for 2 hours to get to a facility where they can spend the night. I
Right.
mean, we've just got to get to the place where we can start having more stable housing, more of a safe haven for women. So I'm super excited because we are just kicking off our Hopes to End Homelessness raffle. So when realtors purchase a $20 ticket or $100 for 6 tickets, we're going to raise $10,000, and all that money is going to go back to the Women's Center. And like I said, I was just there, and I've seen the women who are going to benefit from that. And we're going to help them place 12 beds and private spaces for women in there as a test, as a
Amazing.
pilot program. So again, just to go in and see what the need is, and to know that realtors, $20 at a time, are going to help purchase those 12 beds for women who are really right now sleeping out on the street. So again, the network provides such an opportunity for realtors to give back in an impactful and meaningful way. Realtors are busy. So what I say is, let us be your concierge service and giving back with your heart and your time. And I sure hope that more people can get involved with the network and have that good experience.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I think you just mentioned something at the end there about being a concierge service. What should our membership know about uh, our staff, about the work being done behind the scenes at the association, and sort of in your time serving as a staff member at RRAR, what does that mean to you and the connection that you've been able to build with membership?
All I know is every time I leave Ace Hardware or the library, they want you to leave with what you came with. They want to help you when you walk in the door. They want you to have a meaningful experience. I can tell realtors that that's what our staff at the association wants to do. We want to be a resource for you. We want to support you in your business. And we want you to um, have a connection with us that's powerful, valuable to you. Every event we do here is with that philosophy in mind. Every staff member of the association has a vested interest in making sure that members see value. So value at the end of the day, if you see value, then you're going to continue to get engaged in the association. And that is really what we're here for, to make people feel like they have a place and a space to go and do it in a way that is a lot about listening and reacting in a way that, again, we can provide that value.
Yeah, totally. And I think that that's something our membership needs to know, that it is a collaboration to work together, membership and staff. And I think you made a lot of great points there and exactly what our staff is trying to accomplish. My final question for you today, you mentioned Hoops to End Homelessness, which is an awesome cause. You mentioned the work being done to help out the women's shelter, again, an awesome cause. But what is your biggest goal for RGN in 2024? And are there any other events that you'll be having to accomplish these goals? And what should our membership look out for?
Yes, we have got an action-packed year as far as events to get involved. We have one coming up April 12th, and that's going to be really targeted towards how to get listings. And a lot of times those listings are right in your backyard. So Coach Ella is going to come here, and that'll be a $20 ticket price. So again, we're trying to meet people where they are and giving them opportunities to get involved. Again, our Strikeout Homelessness bowling tournament is super fun. Our 6 years coming up in the fall. That's a way to bring your team out 4 to 6 on a Wednesday or Thursday night and just have good old fashioned fun. And knowing that we're raising money, we usually raise about 30 to 40,000 with that fundraiser. So we always are looking for ways to give people an opportunity to give back through, again, that collective giving power of the network.
Yeah, that's all great stuff. I can echo the statement that the bowling is a lot of fun. Was able to participate in that last year. So looking forward to that again this year. But Heather, I can't thank you enough. You've been super helpful to me since I've joined RRAR. It's been over a year now already, but I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me. But it's also great to hear all the work that you're doing throughout the community and the work that RGN is doing. So really great to talk to you today. And I know that our membership will appreciate hearing all of this. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. And I encourage people to follow us on social media. We do a lot of storytelling, a lot of information about the events we have coming up. And also just talk to your friends and figure out, how do you want to give back? And what can the network do to help you do that? My favorite author is Anne Lamott. And she says, at the end of the day, we're all just traveling home as hard and fast as we can. And for so many of our neighbors, that journey is so much longer. So all the work that people do when they invest in the network, they really are helping people make their next best move.
For sure. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.